What's up? This is Sean McVeigh with Sean's Outdoor Adventures, and I am dipping into the archives today. It is like 6 in the morning, and the children are up. I got another one running around over there. This is some video footage of, what is it, like 4 or 5 years ago, when only this guy was born right here. Say hello. No. No? Okay. And this is some video footage with my dad, so check this out.
In this episode, I'm going to be working hard to get my dad a deer. Now, because of work, basically, he hasn't really been able to hunt in a long time. Even when I was finishing high school, his job started to send him away for 6 months at a time, and he just, because he wanted to provide for his family, he gave up hunting more or less. And so it's really been on my mind and my heart to try to get him out there and have an enjoyable experience and have an opportunity at a deer. So that's what I was working on this year. And when I first moved to this area, like, 7, 8 years ago, I did bring him out to hunt because he was available for a couple of days, and we were just overrun by other hunters. And also the hill where I took him hunting was a little too steep, and it was a little exerting for him. So I wanted to find a place that wasn't quite as bad. So I ran some trail cameras in this area that was much more manageable, and it looked good. We were getting deer movement and even bear movement. So we went over with tree stands to get him set up in the tree in the middle of the summer just to see how it would work out.
The end of July, we're getting our spots all picked out and set up right now. Well, actually they're picked out. We're just testing them out, and then we won't come back until October.
And that was really important because it helped me realize there's one branch in particular that we need to move. Now, we're hunting public land, so you're not allowed to cut any branches. So I went back later on with twine and got up in that tree and tied that branch out of the way. And then I used twine so I can just cut it when the season's over and let that branch go back to where it was. And that's just an idea I give to you. If you're hunting public land and you're not allowed to trim any branches or trees, just use some rope and tie some of those branches out of the way to give yourself some shooting lanes. The next thing we did was get my dad back in shape with his bow, because it had been so long since he had gotten to hunt, he hadn't really been shooting much. So we spent some time getting the bow sighted in, getting everything adjusted, and he did a lot of shooting and practicing on his own, so he was ready to go. Well, opening morning we set up in our spots, and unfortunately we didn't have any deer come by us. That evening I had to be back at the house right after the hunt was over because my wife had to leave. So we decided to hunt on the mountain behind my house, which is where we hunted years ago when he first came up. And just as before, we were overrun by other hunters. We had like 3 guys around us. One of them was actually set up about 50 yards away from me, and I called him, and while I was sitting in my stand, I jokingly called him Captain Blue, because he was dressed in all blue, and I kept waiting for him to put his camouflage shirt on, but he never did. And then at around 6:20, I looked over at Captain Blue, and I see that he's at full draw. And I was like, oh man. And he shoots, and I hear him hit a deer, and I hear a deer run off. And then he gets down and goes up the mountain after the deer. And before long, he starts yelling and whistling, hey, hey, yelling somebody's name, come here. And whoever he was yelling for was not coming. So I was like, all right, I better just get down because he's already ruined my hunt. So I get down and I hike up the mountain to him, and he's like, oh, my flashlight, the batteries are dead, and and stuff like that. Actually, I should tell you this. When I got to about within 15 yards of him, I had a real strong smell of like that perfumed smell from laundry detergent and dryer sheets. I was like, man, I'm surprised he even got a shot. Well, not just because he's in all blue, but because how strongly he smells of perfumey laundry detergent. So I get up to him and I start talking to him, and I was like, so what did you shoot? He's like, oh, it was an ears wide 8-pointer. And I was like, oh man. I knew exactly which deer he was talking about, because I have trail camera pictures of just about every buck around here. And that deer was, I was actually hoping that deer would make it another year just to, see what he would grow into. So anyway, I help him track it a little bit, but then I have to leave. The next day is Sunday, and you can't hunt on Sundays in Pennsylvania.
We are getting in the car to go check out a spot, potential backup spot for tomorrow with these unseasonable temperatures. And a hurricane coming.
And the hurricane coming. Let's do this. So the next day we can hunt is Monday. So we tried a different spot that I had scouted out. And unfortunately, it was like torrential downpours, the rain that morning. We were soaked and drenched and didn't see any deer. So for that evening hunt, we dried everything out, washed our clothes again, and we got set up on the top of a mountain. And right around 6:15, I looked over and this doe came running past me, and I didn't even have a chance to get the cameras turned on until after she was past me. So she actually started to smell where I walked, and I drew back on the deer, and I thought, you know, the way she's headed, she's going right for my dad, because he's only about 70 yards away from me. I don't know, maybe I'll just let her pass, you know, let her go to him. And I'm thinking about this, and I'm also praying, like, Lord, you know, if this is a deer you want me to harvest, have her turn broadside and give me a clear shot. Otherwise, I'm just not gonna shoot. And she never gave me the shot I wanted, so I just let her go. I eased down and I let her walk off. And it turns out she did go right past my dad. Now, I had my little Contour video camera, I had it strapped to his bow. Unfortunately, it had gotten wet in the rain that morning and was on the fritz. And so he's sitting there trying to hit record, and the thing will not power on. And by that point, the deer had gone past him. So he didn't end up getting a shot just because he was trying to help me get footage for my video. So thanks to the faulty camera, we didn't get a deer that night. The following morning, I had to stay home with the baby because my wife had to work that morning. And so my dad, we set him up not far from my house, actually in walking distance, in a place that I had scouted out this spring or this summer, and he went and got set up. Now he's in the stand and he's got deer coming by, so he turns on that little camera on his bow just to get a little footage of the action. So my dad has a shot and I have no idea what's going on right now. I'm just sitting at home with my kid on the couch and like checking email or something. We got walkie-talkies because his cell phone doesn't have coverage in this area. So we've got walkie-talkies and I'm just waiting to hear from him.
All right, folks, it's been about 24 years since my dad has shot a buck, but it's been more like maybe 19 years since he's really got out hunting and shot a deer. So since I'm watching the baby this morning, I couldn't go out, but I sent him up the road here. We went and looked at this spot that I had been scouting all, you know, throughout September. And I said, well, let's have you go right up there, and you know, you could walk there and give it a try. And he got up in there and bumped some deer out, but they came back. He got a shot. We're gonna go see. He said the deer only ran about 35 yards, bedded down, and it expired eventually after a few minutes. But the fact that it only ran that distance, I thought, you know, maybe it was got some of the liver and a lung. I just want to interject. The reason I said that is because a liver hit deer generally does not like to move. It kind of hurts them. So they'll often bed down. And the reason I knew that is because he said the deer ran and bedded down with its head up. It didn't just fall over and die, which to me immediately meant liver hit. We're meeting up with him now. As you could probably tell, I have a little bit of a sore throat. But I'm excited, you know, all this time and finally getting him back out and finally getting a chance at a deer. It's just exciting for us.
He's a cute kid, isn't he? Okay, so now we got the hunter, James McVeigh, next to his tree, gonna give us the play-by-play.
So I got in this tree here, and probably about 7:16, or about quarter after 7 or so, the deer apparently, the two that ran back, went up in this direction, and they were coming down right on this path, and this a little bit further over. So I took the lead though, and when it came down here and I got a perfect broadside shot, I took the shot, and I'm guessing the arrow
Luckily we saw it, good shot. So there's the blood there. And the deer was standing probably on this trail here. So your tree is, that's about a 25-yard shot. And you did a great job. Yeah, that's a great hit there. Started walking funny right in here.
she started to wobble a little bit.
You can tell she walked right here because there's blood all over the ground right here.
Okay, so she was on this path here.
There's blood all over there. Yeah, she probably wobbled out that direction.
Yeah.
And then looped around.
There's blood here.
Yeah, so she came down here and then looped back over to right over at that tree. So she only went about 30 yards from where you hit her over there. And up there was your tree. So it was an effective job.
This shot was high on the entry side.
Oh, that's good. It was probably slightly quartered. Went in there. Perfect. That's good. There's your exit hole. So it was a little bit quartering. You definitely got the liver. But the deer didn't last long. Good job. How you feel?
Oh, it was a successful hunt. I'm pleased.
Well, this is the McVeigh clan tuning out for now. We have some gutting and other things to take care of at this point in time. God bless you all. Say bye-bye. Bye, Grandpa.
Bye.
Bye, Grandpa. The deer slayer.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, folks, my dad made a great shot, and I was just so excited that he had the opportunity to harvest a deer. It had been a while since he had gotten out in the woods hunting, and so this year we at least got on the board with a deer. But you know, next year I'm going to push even harder to get him on a deer with antlers. So I hope you not only stay tuned for the rest of this season, but I hope you tune in next year to see if I can accomplish my goal of getting my dad a deer with antlers again. So we waved goodbye as my dad drove off into the sunset, and I prepared for my next episode, which is going to be me hunting in PA, trying to fill a few of my PA tags. I've got several more doe tags and my buck tag yet. And I've got my eye on this big 7-pointer near my house that I call King of the Hill. He's a real old deer, and I'm hoping that he comes by while I'm in the stand. Will it happen? Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
All right, so there you have it. I have a couple more episodes I'm going to air that some old video footage that I've brought back to life, and I'm going to be posting. So there you have it. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, take care and God bless.